So I'm sure one of your first questions is, what should I expect at my Sisterlock consultation? Well, it should last about 30 or 40 minutes, but it's jam-packed of questions, answers, and information between you and your future consultant about what's needed to start your journey. The biggest thing to remember during your consultation is to pay attention to how you feel. If you think your questions have been asked or answered, if you feel as though it was rushed, if you like the atmosphere that you're in, or anything that is a concern, because you are going to build a relationship with this person. They'll potentially be doing your hair for a long time, and you want to be able to feel comfortable with them and able to ask them anything with your concerns with your hair or upkeep. But during the consultation, you will have different segments. You will talk about hair history. I usually like to get a hair history of my clients. What have they done with their hair? If they're natural, how long they've been natural, what their progression was, how they used to wear their hair, why they're considering Sisterlocks, and anything else that they believe is pertinent, such as coloring or any health issues that may be affecting the scalp or density of their hair, things like that. I also like to do a section that lets me know what exactly they already know or think they know about Sisterlocks. I'm surprised at some of the things that I hear. Some things are awesome information, some not so much. And it's a good idea to kind of debunk anything that is a myth or that is not true, and something that has been learned on what I like to call YouTube University. So you want to make sure that you're understanding the home office certified Sisterlocks TM way of doing Sisterlocks, and that you are paying for a service that is going to be rendered the appropriate way, and you're not going to have any surprises down the line. Also, at the consultation, you are going to receive a profile sheet. It's going to have your regular information, your name, your address, your email, and any other things that your consultant may have added to their form to help stay in touch with you, or good information to keep about your hair specifically. That file will be maintained, and there will be dates kept for each appointment that you have, along with anything that was seen going on with your hair at that moment, and if there's any recommendations or guidance that was given, if there's any transitions that were shown during that visit, and any product or services that may have been recommended on that sheet. That should be maintained every visit, whether it's on paper or it's electronic. However, some choose to use the standard one that Sisterlocks provide. I know I have my own created file, and actually converting it into electronic file that you can fill out prior to your appointment and send in, as well as any questions that you're going to have prior to seeing the doc. And that way I'll be prepared with your specific answers once we meet. What else? During your consultation, you should learn about the locking process, the commitment that Sisterlocks is. You should be being taught about care and upkeep of Sisterlocks. You'll hear things like banding and washing, and you'll also hear about settling in and all these different phrases that are very important for you to understand for the success of your Sisterlocks. So you want to make sure that you take notes, ask plenty of questions. If you don't think of everything right then, most consultants I know, for my clients or future clients, I provide them a text line where they can shoot questions if they're getting antsy or they have questions, anything like that. Also, during your consultation, you will have an analysis done of your strands of hair, things like your density, your curl pattern, the porosity of your hair, several different components that make up your specific hair type. I know some people do 4C or, all these different things, types of hair. We don't use that in Sisterlock world. We have about a good 4 things that we need to be checking for to help us decide what is the best Sisterlock pattern for your hair, because there are 6 that can be chosen from, and depending on that combination of factors, that is what helps us to decide what pattern to use for your hair. So when people ask the question, why aren't Sisterlocks the same as small locks, it's because of those patterns and, of course, the grid. So that's also something that will be discussed during your consultation. As I mentioned, you're going to have a set of test locks put in, usually behind the ear somewhere. I like to make sure that they're kind of right in line, so that one, if you're going to go to additional consultants, they can kind of follow suit and put their test locks above it if you're going to speak to more than one consultant. But also I like to keep them in line so that when I go to actually establish you, they fall kind of right in place with the rest of the locks that are being put in. And they're kind of like an indicator, because you usually come at least 3 or 4 weeks before, so that you can have a little bit of a wash or two between your establishment and when you got your test locks, to help us see how it holds out, especially if you're in between patterns, if you will. So that's also very important. We'll discuss Sisterlock products, how you will use those products, if you have any allergies or anything, and we'll also discuss the most important thing, when your establishment will be. So I know for me, I'm usually booking about 4 to 6 weeks out. Sometimes there's a cancellation you can get on the wait list, and if you're flexible, you can get in. Each consultant does theirs differently. Some only do on the weekend or what have you. I don't particularly at this time have specific days that I do establishments. I pretty much work the establishments within my current schedule, as clients book out ahead of time, most of the time a couple months in advance. And as I'm booking that schedule, I'll go ahead and book a certain amount of establishments. I'll usually do 3 to 5 in a month, just so that I can have time to rest and recover and be my best self while I am establishing and having self-care. So I hope that these tips were good for you to understand what to expect when you come for your consultation. You want to remember to come with your hair completely clean, washed, free of product. You don't want to have braids. It's okay if you have your hair comb rolled down and it can be undone so they can establish it, but some people don't realize that their hair is going to need to be gone through. They're going to check length to give you your price, all of those types of things, and they need to put your test locks in. So just make sure that you remember that at least the night before or the day before, wash your hair. Don't put leave-in conditioner in it. Don't have anything that's gonna mask the true nature of what we call the cuticle in your hair, so that we can analyze the roughness of the cuticle of your hair, because that's also a very important component for helping us to diagnose anything that we can see that's going to either help us or work against us in establishing and successful settling in of your Sisterlocks, and help that process of choosing your lock pattern even easier. So I hope I answered your questions. Again, if you have any questions that I did not answer, feel free to leave me a message in the comments box, and I'll get back with you soon. Bye.